All right. We
Live?
are live in the building.
Sweet. No, John, going back to what I was saying. No, dude, you want me to say something about the Cassio.
Yeah,
You want me to.
new Cassio watch, pretty cool. Highly recommend it.
But you see, it's like when it comes to a flex, the ultimate flex is to move in silence and stealth. Not to, like, you want the attention with it. You want that. You want me to say something. You're inviting me. You're like,
Well, no, okay.
you're tantalizing me with it, like
No.
like a snake charmer.
Yeah. It's just because you're like my friend, and I'm excited to share how cool they
No.
are.
No.
That looks like a snake charmer right there.
That's
dude.
right. That's right. I'm the one with the flute now. No. It's definitely not just that. You want. It's like you were saying earlier about the Grinch. Like the Grinch wants you to say you're a loser. And you're like putting you're putting the Cassio on such prominent display because of the conversations
It's
we've had
16
before
bucks.
about it. Yes, you right there. Right there.
It's $16.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, wait. When we were talking about earlier with Lavazza versus Rev Coffee, what did you say? Oh, wait.
I don't quite recall the vases crap shit.
That's not what you said.
I don't know. What did I say?
You said you get what you pay for.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay, this is one of those times though where of course, yeah. No, there is a Rolex,
Yeah.
right? There's Rolex. Fine.
Sure. There is Rolex.
$1,000.
Is that how much a retail Rolex is?
Yes.
Let's look it up.
Well, I think the cheapest one is like 9,000, but you can get like the standard is like the 15,000.
What's the classic one? The Ocean something, isn't that what it's called? Something like that.
Oyster maybe. Look, classic Rolex. I'm pretty sure it's the Oyster, something like that. Not this. No, we're going to the Rolex website. Submariner.
That's it. The Submariner. That's the classic one. That's like the base model Rolex that people get.
And the Oyster, yeah. These are used up, but it's like 13 to 15,000.
That is just not my style.
Okay.
Rolex is a total status thing.
So, yes.
Wait, what's that?
but
What's that really cool one?
You know, it's also a status thing.
What's that?
Is a Cassio.
What?
It's on right now. Yeah, it's like very like all the A-list celebrities are wearing them. And shit.
Dude, you're a status guy, John?
No.
Dude.
No.
I thought you were
no.
like Mr. Practicality.
I am $16, and it not only does it tell time, it's got the date and the day of the week handy right on top. Like Tuesday, the 9th of December.
Okay, Steelman the opposite position though for Cassio. Can you do it? Let me hear it.
It's $16 cheap B watch.
That's not Steelmanning it.
I guess.
No. How about this? Go into the philosophy. Why do I need a watch today?
Okay, wait.
Why would I want to buy a watch at all outside of it being a staple piece, like an actual
so you can tell
fashion?
time.
But what if I have my phone? When am I without my phone?
So you can readily access time at a flick of your wrist.
But if it's just in my pocket?
Yeah, I mean, okay, but what happens when you go fetch your phone in your pocket? You're more than likely to get distracted by something else.
That is a very fair point. That's a very good point.
Yeah, you're more than likely going to get distracted by all the other things that your phone has, a message,
Bombarded.
A notification, yada. So, and you got to reach in, and sometimes your phone's not in your pocket, it's across the room or something like that. So you have to go... Oh, maybe you left your phone upstairs. I got to go upstairs. This on your wrist, you just go. You don't even have to. Okay, the great thing, it's digital too. So it's actually a further progression of technology on time telling. The quartz crystal was a big invention. I think it was in the 60s and nearly bankrupted the Swiss mechanical watch empire. And the quartz crystal tells time more accurate than the mechanical watches.
But that's not why people are buying those expensive Rolexes or the Pateks or those very
It's
old-fashioned
status.
No. It's no. Behind all of that, besides the status thing, like you can go further than just a status
Yeah,
piece.
it's the engineer of the mechanical pieces, but it's like saying
it's like buying. What would you say? Like the equivalent in a car. It's perfection in engineering.
Exactly. No. It's
Yeah.
the same argument though of Tesla versus old cars. What's a better technology?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a better technology. It's more.
It is though.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
It's actually a simpler motor. It's not as complex. It's simpler. It is better.
Well, I think
it's faster.
Regardless of anything, technology will progress in that direction. Yes, I do agree with that.
No, so it's faster. The fastest Tesla, like they have this.
Oh, I know that.
They have this prototype Tesla model. It's faster than everything. It's like a rocket.
Like a Formula One?
Yeah, like because the technology is superior to mechanical. Even Elon Musk says this. He goes, the reaction time when you're stopping or going on a Tesla, it reacts like put it this way, like for a mechanical energy to react, it reacts like once every 5 milliseconds. A Tesla electronic motor reacts in like 1,000th of a second less. So it's not only, and it's more safe because of that, because it can react in 1,000th of a second if a deer comes in front of you, if a car swerves in your lane or something like that, whereas mechanical can only ever react like 1/5 of a millisecond. So you have like 1,000 times more reaction time. Not only that, the energy transfer of the Tesla versus the, like when you press a gas pedal, it lights the fire. This mechanical part moves this mechanical part, and then that mechanical part moves this mechanical part. The transfer of energy in a Tesla is way faster too.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. What would then be your position on?
Think about this though. Okay, yeah. So watches. So okay, it's so cool. We have all these metal gear moving parts, and it's so beautiful. Yet this has got a crystal in it, and using the vibration of the crystal, it tells time more accurately across time. So what's cooler, really? Mechanical iron moving steel parts, which is very cool. I'm not saying that that's not cool.
I would definitely say I think that's cooler.
Or telling time through a crystal.
I think if you look at some of the more advanced ones where they have more complex moving pieces.
No. That is very cool.
I see what you're saying.
That is very cool.
No, it's a more up-to-date technology. I wouldn't say it's more not advanced.
Okay, well, what's really cool?
It's more complex.
Yeah.
It's like this.
No, not more complex.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Because the technology of the quartz crystal didn't come around till the 60s. We had mechanical watches before the 60s.
Well, yeah, there's
a superior technology.
There's advancements in technology, but like, see, this is good.
We're
going
really
in a good direction.
Yeah. No, wait.
It's like this.
Planes are awesome, right? They allow us to travel to Europe and stuff. But it's like, okay, what's a plane to a rocket? A rocket's actually simpler than a plane. It's not simpler because you have so many other factors like the atmosphere. But really all a rocket's doing is just shooting fuel in one direction out, and you're going straight up, whereas a plane, you have like the gliders and the blah, 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 blah. You have all the mechanical parts. But what's cooler, a rocket or a plane?
Well, this is the point that I would make.
See, John's nerdy.
When you look back at history, when you look at the construction of the pyramids, the Parthenon, technology in crafting materials, in building colossal structures has advanced. It's evolved so much since the, however old the pyramids are, that's widely contested. But some of these ancient structures, the technology has advanced so much with the invention of steam engines and cranes and the technology to cut these massive stones out of quarries that didn't exist thousands of years ago.
You have to appreciate it.
100%. But when you look, like, yes, technology has advanced far more than what the those ancient civilizations would have been capable of theoretically, but still to this day, we don't know how the pyramids were constructed. There's still such widely contested information about that. Nobody really knows. Anybody who
they
says
constructed a semi copy, not as big.
no, not even fucking remotely close.
I'm sure
remotely
it could be done
close.
though.
There's stones.
I think it could be done.
There's stones. Oh, I don't think it could.
I think it could be done. If you take all the money,
You want to know something
and
though?
Elon Musk.
You want to know something though? The biggest stone ever moved in modern time was moved in Russia. We could find a video about this to check me. It was moved in Russia post-industrial revolution, and they moved it, I think it was a total of like maybe 30 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a fraction of the weight of some of these other structures in I forget the ancient ruins. See, I'm going to butcher this, but even the pyramids itself.
Yeah.
The giant stones that were moved from quarries hundreds of miles away. In the events, like if you were to put yourself in the position of an ancient Egyptian with the technology that they had exposed to them at the time, it is incomprehensible to think that you would have the ability to create something like that.
Yes.
Still to this day, the cranes, the load that these structures, these machines that we have are able to bear is not even close
I would argue,
to being able to do
though,
that.
That putting a man on the moon with a rocket into outer space is a bigger feat
Than creating the pyramids?
than creating a pyramid. Yeah. I bet it could be done. If
That's
you,
a serious...
That is a bold statement.
That's a big... Who's that?
That's that nutrition lady who we were going to make a video for.
Oh, we'll call her back.
Yeah, I'll call her back later.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, we're live right now. Maybe I could talk to her.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and be like, hey, we're live right now.
No, because
Okay.
we're on something. You don't want to lose a train of thought.
Okay. So no. Yes. But okay, here's the thing. Tying it back to
yes
the watch. It's tying it back to the watch.
Mm-hmm.
Watch enthusiasts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the watch enthusiasts. They go, I own the Patek. I own the Le Couture or whatever.
I really want to find that one.
Wait. Let me say
Jimmy
this.
had.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
Own the Patek. Own the Le Couture. Own the Rolex. Blah blah blah. But I find myself, even though I'm a watch enthusiast and I own multiple watches, because you don't have to just own a Tesla. You can own a Porsche and a Tesla.
That's what I was going to say.
So
the Porsche.
So they go, I find myself, though, on a day-to-day basis using the Cassio, whereas like the Rolex or the Patek would be like, oh, I'm going out on a really nice night or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wearing that as like a status kind of thing.
Let's see. This is a perfect video to pull up for this. I'll send this to you. Well, the real argument that you would say...
Let's not lose this argument, though, for the time being, and
We're
then
not.
we can
No.
watch that.
The real argument that you would say is the greatest advancement that you would say would rival the pyramids. It's not somebody landing on the moon. It's the invention of the iPhone, of computing, modern computers. Having a screen that's readily accessible. I mean, that's magic.
Well, no, I would say to me, more impressive than the iPhone, which is awesome from a technological standpoint, is Elon Musk catching that rocket booster coming down midair.
You think so?
Yeah, the amount of calculations you have to make with a computer, that if you're a fraction of a calculation off, it results in that rocket blowing up.
Oh yeah, of course.
Or
No,
something like
I'm
that.
not debating that.
So no. Okay, but here's the thing. It's like I have a love for practicality.
Mm-hmm.
I love practicality. I love when billionaires invent something that's so amazing.
I like it when not billionaires invent something. John, what do you think about that?
Well, yeah. But okay, that gets into a bigger argument of why I think capitalism
That's just silly, though.
and billionaires is actually a good thing.
Oh, of course.
Because what they're doing is they actually will spend so much money that'll invent something that the common man can utilize for cheap.
Mm-hmm. Agreed, yeah.
So it's
innovation.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like, once again, I'll say it. watch enthusiasts, like I own Patek, La Couture, Rolex, but I find myself on a day-to-day basis always wearing the Cassio.
You could also get a Seiko.
Well, yeah, it's same.
Crystal watches
They
are beyond
invented the quartz.
Seiko.
Seiko, yeah.
Yes, crystal watches go beyond just Casio. But you're saying I understand your point.
Yeah,
for pure practicality's sake, if you want to measure time for $16, you can have a far more accurate product than a $20,000 Patek or whatever.
Yeah, no, that is a big point that they make. They go for $16, you can tell time more accurately than they say it can tell time more accurately than the $200,000 watch.
You know what's actually the most accurate watch or clock that exists?
It goes off the military or the space-time thing or whatever.
No. It's the atomic clock.
Yeah. Which goes off, I think it literally measures like the sun and stuff.
No, the atomic clock, I believe it defines it's so crazy. It's like, what is even the point of this?
Yeah.
But it defines the amount of rotations for a hydrogen atom. How many times a hydrogen atom's electrons rotate around the nucleus.
Wow.
In what we define as a second.
Yeah, well, which is kind of like how many times the planet rotates around the sun. It's just on a subatomic level.
Yeah.
Same kind of that's what they say. The nucleus of an atom is like the planets rolling around the sun rolling around the galaxy.
Oh,
it's just on a subatomic level.
Well, it's the golden ratio.
Yeah.
Fibonacci's sequence.
Yeah, and the galaxies rotate in clusters around a super black hole. There's
at the center of every galaxy is a super black hole. Yes.
And at the center of a cluster of galaxies is a super galaxy with an even bigger black hole. They're all rotating.
It could be.
So
I don't really know.
No, I do know this. I looked at this. When the Big Bang happens, everything's right now is floating to chaos, infinite nothingness.
It's expanding.
But certain clusters of things have gathered together and they all rotate around each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like being revolves around being, but everything's rotating outward from the center of the bang.
Yeah, that's something to really explore. That could be a whole conversation into itself. But do
Cassio Rolex to
Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah.
Like what?
Whoa, no, this is awesome.
But
conversation.
It's the mathematics of God.
Yeah.
How to me it seems undeniable, and that's my whole critique of atheism. It's like you're willing to accept that all is randomness, that essentially order is chaos, that it's random, that it evolved out of nothing, that these same universal principles of how gravity affects wave currents, how seashell patterns form, is the exact same frequency, or whatever you want to call it, ratio, to Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, to the actual structure of a human being, to the evolution of star clusters and galaxies, that they would be willing to accept that existence, consciousness, creation is a random event despite the order. And that's actually one of the arguments that Plato used in proving, or no, was it Plato or was it Aquinas? I think it was Aquinas, in basically proving God's existence as the order of the universe.
Yeah. Well, and so, in case you didn't know,
but that's a magic trick into itself. There is existence itself is a magic trick. It's everyone has an answer for everything except for existence.
Well, so like you said, though, tying it back to the watches, because this nut's being cracked, is so if you didn't know, G-Shock actually owns Cassio.
No, I didn't know that.
And they make Cassio.
I did not know that.
They make Cassio solar watches where it is like quartz.
Mm-hmm.
But it's powered by the sun. Like your watch has a solar panel around the face.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't need a battery. I think the battery eventually goes bad, but a long time. And they have them where they're connected to the radio frequency of the atomic clocks. So it actually is on the exact time standard. Like you can't tell time anymore. And the G-Shocks, they make them where they're like, they make them where you can run over them with a tank. And they're still fine. And they can go so deep under the water. But But yeah, no, it's the technology of it's superior. It's the person who, like, oh, well, is a Tesla faster than a Porsche? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is a Tesla safer than a Porsche? Yes. So it's like in every single metric, Tesla is outperforming the Porsche, but some people will own the Porsche and the Tesla because of the nostalgia and the respect of the old technology. I would argue that for Teslas, that all owning a Tesla myself, Model 3, I would argue that that is the way. That now all mechanical cars are actually dated. Sure, you can buy it for the nostalgia and the like, oh, I just like something mechanical. I like to feel the engine move and I like to hear the engine growl and like all those things.
They would say it's the connection to the mechanical components of the vehicle.
But the Tesla's the way. It's like the iPhone.
There's a strong argument to be made for that.
Like some people still like to use, like I still like to connect the earphones that you connect to the phone and put them in my ear, that kind of thing.
Caroline, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Caroline, she likes to do that. And it's like a thing, but it's like, no, the AirPods are like, that's the
Although they have a greater, well, it depends on how you look at it. Unless you like fray the wires or something like that with headphones, that wire will always be consistently connected. Whereas I have problems with my AirPods all the time. Like you can beat those wired headphones to shit and they'll still work.
But what are you picking up every day?
Oh, the AirPods, of course.
It's Cassio, dude. I'm putting on the that's what they're saying. Putting it on the Cassio every day. And it's like, oh, if I go out to a nice dinner and I want to impress, yeah, you put on the Rolex, the Patek, whatever you got. If you got the 400, if you got the $1.5 million watch,
yeah,
you see him put that on.
To me, the point of owning a watch is it's like it's an appreciation for I guess you would consider the old technology. It goes back to the clock makers throughout history, and that the complexity of the gears, the components itself, it's like it's beautiful in a sense.
But the majority of people on Earth,
like for me, I just wouldn't have a need or desire to own any watch unless I was getting that sort of a product.
The majority of people on Earth, though, can't much less afford a $100 watch.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I'm not saying the majority of people on Earth are probably just going to use their phone.
And not only that, it tells you the day of the week. So if it's Tuesday, and it'll tell you the time of the month. And it's got a stopwatch and an alarm.
The time of the month?
Or like if it's the 10th or the 15th of the month.
Yeah. The date.
The date, yeah. And it's got a stopwatch and an alarm. Like it's got an alarm on it.
It is very useful. It is very practical. I won't deny that.
Is that Barry?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we have one of our listings. It's a $2.7 million home in Old Metairie. We're expecting to get an offer today.
Which would be
from a set of buyers.
Awesome.
It'd be a very Merry Christmas. It'd also be a good kickoff to my birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Garrett.
Thank you.
But yeah, so okay, but me, I like practicality. I like technology. I'm a tech enthusiast, so to say. I like cooler technology. I like synergy. I like Bitcoin. I don't like the dollar. See what I'm saying?
Ooh,
a little thunder.
Dude, Bitcoin, heard that.
Yeah. Boom. like I like Bitcoin at the dollar. Boom.
Maybe that's like beware.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think that's like rock on. That's how I interpret it.
Yeah.
Like boom. Yeah, that's right. Like when I said dollar, the thunder went off. Beware the dollar.
Beware the dollar.
Yeah. Beware fiat.
Definitely beware the dollar.
Dirty fiat.
Absolutely beware the dollar. Like that country singer. Your dollar ain't shit.
Yeah. Your dollar ain't shit. He dropped off hard. He turned out like he was like this.
He didn't want the fame.
He was this like conservative, like came off conservative guy, like, yeah, F the dollar, blah, blah. And he turned out being like, I think like.
Not really. He was smoking weed and like just making music.
Well, I don't know. We can go into that guy, but.
I mean, who cares?
Nevertheless, I mean, the peso.
All the power to him.
Beware the peso even more than the dollar.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're a peso guy, you're not doing too hot these days.
Knew that. That's where they had the Zimbabwe $15 trillion bill.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
And you needed a wheelbarrow
it's
full.
So funny.
You needed a wheelbarrow full of $15 trillion bills to buy a piece of bread.
That's hilarious.
So it's like you're paying like what, $30 quintillion for bread?
You're paying a Google for a car. You're irrational numbers.
So yeah, Cassio. I mean, we can shift now, I guess, to something else. But
go into we touched briefly on something that I've been wanting to talk about, the pyramids.
Pyramids. Okay, let's do it.
I hope that this is the right video. Graham Hancock, he's the shit. He's an actual archaeologist. Even though he calls himself, he says he's not an archaeologist. He's hated by the archaeological community. They bash him at every chance they get. But to me, he's a true representative of what archaeology should be.
Okay, 7 minutes. Yeah, we can watch it. Let's go.
What do you hope are the interesting discoveries in archaeology that we'll find?
Well, I'd really like to know how the Great Pyramid was built, and we now.
Real quick, he was the guy that was on with Mike Tyson that sent that video to you.
Oh yeah, where they took mushrooms.
They took mushrooms on the podcast.
Oh yeah, he's great. Well, he's created several books. His first one that hit. If you want a freaking thrilling read on untapped, incredible source material for an adventure story, read his first
Hancock.
book, Fingerprints of the Gods. It's incredible. But he's also gone into plant medicine. He has another book called like the Medicine of the Gods or something like that, where it talks about ayahuasca, plant medicine throughout history.
Well, yeah, he's
done all that.
On the Mike Tyson one, his fundamental thing, what he cares about, is the history that's been lost. So he goes, there were civilizations, there were knowledge before what we even have a record on.
100%.
And we need to spend money and go find those civilizations and find the knowledge.
100,000%.
The oldest we have is the Sumerians.
Yeah.
Like Gilgamesh and stuff.
I mean, I've been following his work for a few years now. I mean, I'm at this point almost convinced of his hypothesis. I'm almost convinced about it. When you look at these shared disaster myths from all across multiple different cultures who were never supposed to have any contact with one another until, I mean, moderately modern history share such identical creation myths, such identical disaster myths dating back to the flood, Noah's Ark. Every single one of these cultures who should have never come into contact with one another seem to have a shared culture. And there's so many. I mean, he goes into countless different examples of it to where it's at the bare minimum, it's an incomprehensible mystery for which there is no answer right now. There appears to be some sort of a lost record. I mean, they've already rewritten part of the archaeological historical handbook with Gobekli Tepe, which was discovered not very long ago. I mean, we can go into that next. It's absolutely fascinating, but there's clear evidence of what he calls megalithic structures that man was not supposed to have the technology to even come remotely close to developing until 5,000 years after the carbon dating confirmed this structure was built.
Yeah, I saw it. It was like some of them were like statues of like a dude with a face with hands, and it was like 9,000 years old,
11,000
or something like that,
which perfectly corresponds with the Younger Dryas impact theory, where there was some sort of a global cataclysm. This is, I believe, confirmed at this point, where there was a series of comet strikes or something asteroid strikes to the Earth. Yeah, giant impacts, something that drastically changed the global climate.
Send them back to the Stone Age.
For 100 years. But that's the whole thing. It's that
it
perfectly corresponds also with the time that the flood would have existed, Noah's Ark, all of that. It perfectly corresponds with the time where there was this radical shift, and that's exactly when those structures were built. But it's not even just that they're these giant quarried stones. It's that they show evidence of an advanced civilization at the time that they should have been hunter-gatherers, that we believed there were still crouching in small tents with spears, going around barefoot.
Yeah, because the Sumerians
They had
were how long ago?
astrological dating on these things.
Yeah, yeah.
Sumerians, 6,000, maybe
see.
7,000.
I'm gonna say, what is the
Here, wait. Let me just do it. I'll do it faster.
oldest Sumerian records we
Let's see if perplexity is based or not. What is the oldest civilization?
See, the oldest Sumerian records we have is 3100 BC.
Mm-hmm. Long considered the world's oldest civilization, Mesopotamia emerged around 4000 BCE in the region between the Tigris and the Euphrates in what is now mostly Iraq. The Sumerians who developed in this area are credited with several key hallmarks of civilization, building the first cities such as Ur and Uruk, developing a written language, cuneiform, creating sophisticated works of art, inventing mathematics and astronomy. See, Gobekli Tepe is in direct contrast of this. Direct contrast. And what's even crazier...
The oldest records we have is 3100 BC.
Sure. What's even crazier, though, see, this already defies that, inventing mathematics and astronomy. Gobekli Tepe has archaeological pillars directly pointing to what is presumed to be a date. It's basically zodiac or constellations of the zodiac carved into the stone, as if to capture a time from the stars, to date it based on the stars at that time. Yeah, it's wild. And then you start going into topics like Atlantis and some of these different places. But yeah, I, at this point, am almost convinced that this is the truth, that there appears to be some sort of a lost civilization out there.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's roll it. Hancock, the Great Pyramids.
Have with new tech, with scanning technology, it's now become apparent that there are many major voids within the Great Pyramid. Right above the Grand Gallery, there's what looks like a second Grand Gallery that has been identified with remote scanning. And new chambers, one of them has even been opened up already, are being found as a result of this. So it may be that the Great Pyramid will ultimately give up its secrets. I often think that the Great Pyramid is partly designed to do that. It's designed to invite its own initiates. Some people aren't interested in the Great Pyramid at all, but some people are fascinated by it and they're drawn towards it. And when they're drawn towards it, it immediately starts raising questions in their minds and they seek answers to their questions. So it's like saying, here I stand. Investigate me, find out about me, figure out what I am. Why have I got these two shafts cut into the side of the so-called Queen's Chamber? Why do they slope up through the body of the Great Pyramid? Why do they not exit on the outside of the Great Pyramid? Why, when we send a robot up those shafts, do we find them after about 160 feet blocked by a door with metal handles? Why, when we drill through that door to see what's beyond it, 3 or 4 feet away, we see another door? It's like very frustrating, but it's saying to us, keep on exploring. If you're persistent enough, we'll eventually give you the answer. So I'm hoping that answer will come as to how this most mysterious of monuments was actually built and the inspiration that lay behind it. Certainly, I'm sure it was never a tomb or a tomb only.
And he's actually banned from Egypt for some reason.
He's banned from several of those places.
Yeah, they're like, no, you can't come here. I don't know why, or I didn't look into the background.
Listen to this. This is a crazy statistic, and I'm not going to get it 100% right, but I believe for Gobekli Tepe specifically, which I'm pretty sure is in Turkey, there were, of the main structures that they've excavated so far, I think that there are maybe 10% of it has been excavated. The Turkish government has declared that all further excavations will be prohibited until 150 years from now.
And then and he says that's unacceptable. Like the world should be like,
Obviously, it's unacceptable.
Yeah, the
There's
world
no possible reason for it.
yeah, the world should be like, no, sorry, we're like invading you, Turkey, and like we're opening up the secrets of our past.
Yeah, there's only two hypotheses of why they would come out with that. Their statement is that they are waiting for better technology as not to damage the existing structures, which is ridiculous. It's essentially all you're doing is removing dirt from them. We already have everything that we need to do that. But the only other one that I've heard, and they haven't come out and said this, is that from some kind of monetary value that they want to keep it mysterious. But it's like, it would be so much more mysterious to actually know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
The later pyramids might have been. Actually, no pharaonic burial has been discovered in any pyramid, but nevertheless, it's pretty clear that the later pyramids, with the pyramid texts written on the walls, like the Pyramid of Unas, 5th Dynasty pyramid at Saqqara, were tombs. But the Great Pyramid, to go to that length to create a tomb, to make it a scale model of the Earth, to orient it perfectly to true north, to make it 6 million tons. This is not a tomb. This is something else. This is a curiosity device. This is something that is asking us to understand it. And I hope we will understand it. And I hope Egyptologists will be willing to set aside that prejudice that they're only looking at a tomb and consider other possibilities. And as new tech is revealing these previously unknown inner spaces within the Great Pyramid, I think that's going to become more and more likely.
So not just the how it was built, but the why.
But the why.
And to you, it seems obvious that there would be a cosmic motivation.
Yeah, very, very much so. As above, so below. You know, which is an idea in the Hermetica. The god Hermes for the Greeks was the Greek version of Thoth, the
Thrice great
god of ancient
Hermes.
Egypt, and that's where that saying comes from. It comes from the Hermetica, but it's expressing an ancient Egyptian idea to mirror the perfection of the heavens on earth.
So you think there's something interesting to be discovered about the how it was built? You mean beyond the sort of the ideas of using ramps and wet sand?
Ramps won't do it. Ramps won't do it, nor will wet sand. It's true that the ancient Egyptians did haul big objects on sleds on wet sand. There are even reliefs that show the process where an individual is standing on the front of the sledge pouring water down to lubricate the sand underneath. And that's a perfectly respectable way to move a 200-ton block of stone across sand, flat sand, if you have enough people to pull it. But that is not going to help you get dozens of 70-ton granite blocks 300 feet in the air to form the roof of the king's chamber and the floor of the chamber above it and the roof of that chamber and the floor of the chamber above that and so on and so forth. Wet sand never got those objects up there. Somehow they were lifted up there. Now, ramps are proposed as the solution, but where are the remains of those ramps? If you're going to carry blocks weighing up to 2 or 3 tons right to the top of the Great Pyramid to complete your work, you're going to need a ramp that's going to extend out into the desert for more than a mile at a 10-degree slope. And it's calculated that a 10-degree slope is about the maximum slope that human labor can haul objects up a ramp. And that ramp can't just be compacted sand, since heavy objects are being hauled up it. It's going to have to be made of very solid material, almost as solid as the pyramid itself. Where is it? We don't see any trace of those so-called ramps that are supposed to have been involved in the construction of the pyramid. I think we don't know. I think we have no idea it's built. That's why there's so many different theories. We haven't got the answer yet. But the how of it is one of the big mysteries from our past.
I love the Great Pyramids as a kind of puzzle that was created by the ancient peoples to be solved by later peoples. I mean, this is, I don't know if you're aware of the 10,000 year clock.
No.
That was built by Jeff Bezos and Danny Hillis in Sierra Diablo Mountains in Texas. So they're building a clock that ticks once a year for 10,000 years.
Oh, wow.
So it's talking about it, and it's supposed to sort of run, you know, if there's a nuclear apocalypse, it just runs. And it's an example of modern humans thinking like, okay, if 10,000 years from now and beyond, if something goes wrong or the future humans that are way different come back and they analyze what happened here, how can we create monuments that they could then analyze.
Yeah.
And in that way, be curious about, in their curiosity, discover some deep truths about this current time. It's an interesting kind of notion of like, what can we build now?
That would last. And the answer is that the majority of what we build now wouldn't last.
Wouldn't.
It would be gone within a few thousand years. But what would last is massive megalithic structures like the Great Pyramid. That would last, and it could be used to send a message to the future. I think Gobekli Tepe serves a similar function. I mean, there it was. It was buried 10,400 years ago. And then for the next 10,000 years, nobody touched it. Nobody knew it was there. It took the genius of Klaus Schmidt, the original excavator, to realize what he'd found and what it was. But the great thing about the sealing of Gobekli Tepe, the deliberate burial of Gobekli Tepe, is it means that no later culture trod over it and imposed their organic materials on it and messed up the dating sequences and so on and so forth.
That's one of the big things about Gobekli Tepe, is that it wasn't covered in sand or whatever because of some kind of, natural erosion process, sandstorm, whatever. It was deliberately buried. The rocks, the sand is much younger, or maybe it's much older, whichever it is, than the stones in Gobekli Tepe itself, which is a clear example of that it was deliberately buried. Somebody built it and then buried it. As if to preserve it. It's an absolute mystery. That's the end of it.
You want to do? Wait, I want to show you because it's just funny. Hancock. You're actually gonna laugh at this. I'm just gonna go right to the point where they eat mushrooms.
I've seen it. I saw it.
Oh, you saw the whole episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not the whole episode, but I saw them eating mushrooms.
Oh wait, no, but watch their conversation. It's pretty funny. They have a great dynamic because Mike Tyson actually knows history too, and it's really funny. It's really funny. Watch. They're gonna give us an ad. We're gonna have to mute this.
How much are they going to give us an ad? Maybe inappropriate.
All right, we got the legendary Mike Tyson. We also have internet
tea, sometimes just eating the mushrooms. And
Bring some mushrooms in here. Some
DMT.
and it's the spirit molecule, which comes from the word, spire, which means to breathe, right? And that's why DMT is the spirit molecule. The most is produced not just in the pineal gland, which, as you know, has a retina, cornea, and a leg.
He told Kiki to bring some mushrooms in here from the refrigerator.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've had less luck with mushrooms. I've taken mushroom journeys maybe.
You didn't take the right one.
I didn't take enough. I think that was
No,
the
you
thing.
didn't take the right one.
I've done the
Take
journey
the right ones, don't have to take enough.
7 or 8 times, sometimes in the form of a tea, sometimes just eating the mushrooms. I microdose psilocybin straight from the mushrooms, but I've never had that big kind of jump into a completely convincing alternative reality with mushrooms. And I know that it's either not the right mushroom or not the right dose.
You didn't
Or
need
both.
enough. Yeah. Terrence McKenna talks about the heroic dose.
Heroic
right?
dose, yeah.
Being by
I'm the
yourself.
heroic dose guy.
I can see you're the heroic dose guy, yeah.
I love there's a name for that. Fuck! I'm not no fucking maniac or savage, right?
The hero dose.
I'm the hero dose, right? That's what it's called?
Well, again, it's the way you live your life.
Savage.
You take life by the throat and live it.
Yeah, it is.
And it has so much influence on our culture, psychedelics.
Well, again, this is something that the powers that be in our society would like us not to know.
But snake venom is the biggest thing in China right now.
I heard that, but I don't quite understand
Snake
it.
venom.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
Hey, excuse me, brother. Hello, Dre. Can you get the ones out the refrigerator these were? The ones that were in the freezer. Was this in the freezer? No. Look the freezer in the kitchen.
What type of, this is psilocybe what?
Mushroom.
But which type? Cubensis? What are they? They're huge.
They look like Cubans.
No, I think they're penis in there, no.
Penis they're certainly not Liberty Caps anyway.
Listen.
They're not Amanita muscaria.
Oh, shucka, baby.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
This is a beautiful thing.
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful if you take a couple of these.
Okay.
It's the chocolate.
Graham, sir.
Mr. Graham,
Name
sir.
Hancock, that's a powerful name.
It's
That's a powerful
interesting.
name.
In America, it's a very known name because
John Hancock.
Hancock's signatory. In Britain, it's less well known, but I've tracked it down a little bit. I know where it comes from. Okay.
That's a little lightweight mackerel.
You're gonna have some as well.
Oh, I'm right here, brother. Look, hey.
Okay.
Break it down, blow it, break it down.
So this is psilocybin chocolate.
Well, there's another one, brother. Oh, I love you. Just keep chopping. Keep chopping. Suck with the white juicy, what do you call that stuff again?
Dude, he's really intense.
Oh no, he's great.
Saliva,
Mike Tyson's
saliva.
great.
So how many grams
That's hilarious.
of psilocybin have I just consumed?
Usually it's typically
Three
a gram
pieces.
per-
He said three
gram
pieces.
per little hit.
Three pieces.
So 3 pieces.
Well,
three,
it could be less though. Sometimes half a gram, depending on.
That's
volume.
1
So you
gram. 1 gram.
in the 3 pieces, or 1 gram in each piece.
Hey, 1 gram in each piece.
Okay.
You just ate
So I've
like
just committed to a gentle
5
journey.
grams of mushroom.
Yeah. Dude, he was scared for a second. Like, wait, 1 gram per piece.
Yeah.
Listen.
I've heard that it might be very helpful for migraines. It's the reason that I'm microdosing psilocybin now.
Well,
I suffer from migraines.
We could get off
it's a
this.
curse of my life.
Really?
That's really
Constant.
funny though.
I never
Well, they go into history and stuff, and he think on mushrooms goes into like the bibliotechy, like that kind of stuff.
The bibliotech.
Or what's it
the
called?
library.
Yeah.
Gobekli Tepe.
Gobekli Tepe. They go into
yeah.
that stuff, but think like grams on mushrooms going
That's
into that.
hilarious.
So he gets really raw with it.
Yeah.
But
Dude, what's crazy is when you hear about he's do you know that I think where is it? Oh, is it in what's the oldest Christian church? Ethiopia.
Yeah, Ethiopia.
I think it's in Ethiopia. I'm pretty sure it's in an African country, which would make sense, but there's a country that claims that they have the Ark of the Covenant. I don't know if you've ever seen this, have you?
Yeah, I've seen this, yeah.
Yeah. And Graham Hancock has been to the temple where supposedly it's the Ark of the Covenant is located.
Mm-hmm.
There's, I guess you would call them, I believe it's.
Yeah, he talks about it in that podcast.
Does he?
Yeah.
You know everything about it?
They have special people who handle
Yes.
it, and they go
Committed- to
they
guard
go
it.
blind or something like that, or,
Well, no,
or they suffer a
this is what's
disease.
crazy.
Yeah.
There's one monk, let's call him. I don't know exactly who it is, but they're elected. They're chosen to guard inside the temple itself, like beyond the door.
Yeah,
There's a giant stone door that seals it in, whatever's on the other side, and they have to stay there for life. They will die there, and so most of them will like run away, they'll flee, but the ones that do, they go blind and they suffer radiation poisoning.
Yeah.
From whatever's beyond there.
Yeah.
And he goes, what did he say? He had a really badass quote about it. Because Graham Hancock has been, but nobody's allowed in except for this specific order and that specific guy. And he's asked that guy, because he's lived through like 4 of them at this point. And he's been there maybe 4 or 5 times, asked every single one of them, what's in there? Like, you've seen it, you've opened it. Yes. What's in there? And he said something like fire. Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Ark
They
of
would
the
have a
Covenant.
case.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant.
Graham Hancock is a absolute treasure trove for real, like the good stuff in history. Like if you want to write an adventure novel,
He's too smart for his own good. Like people would like glaze over, but yeah, he's filled with the good stuff.
Oh, if you read his books, they're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
His Netflix show, I started watching it. The problem is there's a lot of great knowledge in it, but it's so dumbed down and like too fast, too like trying to be overtly dramatic with the music and the cliffhangers and all that kind of stuff. It's not really made for a show. It should have been like one detailed documentary. Like it's almost going too hard in a sense. Yeah, I would highly recommend that. Fingerprints of the God. That book is incredible. There's other ones too where there's the Piri Reis map. Pull that up.
Piri Reis?
Piri Reis map.
How do you even spell it?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me see if I could find it. Graham Hancock.
Piri Reis map? Piri Reis, this is it.
That's it. Graham Hancock should be there.
Piri Reis map. Let's see. Piri Reis map.
Graham Hancock. First thing that comes up.
Minute
Look at
44.
that, 17 years ago.
Oh, wait. Hey, oh my gosh.
In
Jeez,
1929, rolled up on a dusty shelf in a library in Constantinople in Turkey, a map was found. This map had been drawn in 1513 by a Turkish admiral, Admiral Piri Reis. The strange thing about this map is it shows features of the Earth that nobody in 1513 should have been able to know.
Before the 18th century, sailors ran the risk of crashing their ships onto rocky coastlines because they lacked one thing, the ability to calculate longitude. For that, you need an extremely accurate clock. It wasn't until 1790 that the first accurate marine timepiece was invented, and sailors could pinpoint their position on the seas. Yet 250 years before this clock was made, Piri Reis had
That's
drawn
Charlton
a map
Heston.
which showed the coastlines of Africa and South America within a half a degree of longitude.
Yeah.
And as Piri Reis himself told us, that knowledge was not his knowledge. It was knowledge that he'd borrowed and copied from earlier maps. And he stated on the map that it was based on more than 20 source maps, and that some of these maps went back to the time of Alexander the Great, or even earlier, in other words, to before the time of Christ. So the mystery is, where did these source maps come from? Who charted the globe long ages ago with an accuracy that we ourselves can hardly match today?
And what's even one of the most fascinating things about it is it was the entirety of the South American continent and coastline, but also Antarctica. And so Antarctica was discovered. Let's look that up real quick. When was Antarctica discovered? 1820, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we only recently developed the technology because the Antarctican coastline is buried, like the rock formation of Antarctica is buried beneath like miles of sheets of ice. However, the Piri Reis map has to like fractions of a degree of mapping it out, the actual rock coastline, which wouldn't have been accessible in, I don't know the exact date, but thousands and thousands of years, like around before the start of the last ice age.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're following me at all.
Yeah, I am.
What did I just say?
Around the last ice age.
What about it?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Piri Reis map?
exactly. Dude, John, what the fuck are you doing?
So I was looking up, this is, I don't know if you've seen it, they actually have an accurate map of how the world actually looks. So you're used to the standard globe map.
The Mercator projection or something like that.
Yeah. This is how the world actually is like laid out, because you know how they always say Alaska's so close to Russia?
Yes.
But you're like, but
Well,
Russia's
it
on the
is.
other side of the world kind of thing.
The main thing is the distortion of South America's scale as well.
Exactly. And because you know Australia's so far away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how is Europe closer than Australia kind of thing? And it's because it's like you're like you go over like the north
Yes.
kind of thing. But that's how the actual layout is realistically. I was going to say that's another like perception thing.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the Piri Reis map, just going back to that,
Yeah, the Piri Reis map.
is that it outlined the actual coast of Antarctica, because Antarctica today is buried beneath many miles of sheets of ice.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't develop the technology to actually map the rock coast, the continental coast of Antarctica, until I think it was the 80s when they used radar technology to actually get an accurate map beneath the ice. The Piri Reis map, however, has that actual coastline laid out, not the ice sheets, which the last time that would have been accessible would have been something like before the last ice age.
Yeah.
Which gives more credence to the idea of that there was a lost civilization that not only discovered these hitherto believed to be undiscovered. It said Antarctica was discovered in 1820, but that they would have had an advanced seafaring civilization that would have had access to all of these places, which would also explain the shared culture of those flood myths, creation myths, all of those kind of things. The shared culture between them is that they, not only was there an advanced civilization, but there was an advanced seafaring and intercontinental civilization that went to all of these different locations.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the chances are very high.
I mean, it appears to be so, is what it is. And Graham Hancock himself will say there's no definitive evidence for it, but there seems to be a missing piece.
Well, that's a cool thought, too. It's like, what's older than the Sumerians, like the Atlanteans? Like, what was the name of the civilization before then?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a...
And you think of what could have been lost in the burnings. There, at one point in time, there was 3 or 4 great libraries throughout the Western world and the Eastern world. Yeah, 3 of them burned to the ground.
And so you wonder, those libraries.
Exactly.
Oh, look, we're getting a thumbs up.
Exactly. What would have been what could have been potentially lost there?
Mm-hmm.
Alexandria, Celsus, and I forget the other ones.
Let's look it up. Perplexity. Look, we got an audience right now.
Can we see comments on anything?
Yeah, I'd have to pull it up. Let's see if they can comment. I don't know. Let's see. Chat.
How would they chat with us? Would that pull all sources?
Say, hey.
Here, I'll perplexity it.
The what?
Lost libraries.
Lost libraries, yeah.
Let's see. I know Alexandria was one. Celsus was one. I've been to Celsus in Ephesus. They're still excavating it. Did Alexandria burn down? Yes. YouTube video.
Thumbs up.
Oh, this
Thumbs
is saying
up
a
for
bunch of
lost
them.
libraries.
Let's see. Which ancient libraries burned down?
Or probably say were destroyed.
Alexandria.
Because I don't think they all burned down. I guess.
Oh, yeah, look at this. I actually didn't know this. The Library of Alexandria. Oh, wait. There was 3 different instances. Julius Caesar's fire in 48 BC, during Caesar's pursuit of Pompey into Egypt, he ordered ships in the harbor to be burned. The fire spread to the city and likely damaged part of the library. In 391, Emperor Theodosius I sanctioned the destruction of Serapeum, a temple in Alexandria that housed part of the library's collection.
Emperor who?
Emperor Theodosius.
Theodosius. He was like, I'm the emperor of like Italy. The world will forever remember my name. Like, who's Emperor Theodosius?
Yeah, nobody knows. That was under the Christian Empire. This event carried under Bishop Theophilus may have resulted in the destruction of many manuscripts. Arab conquests. Some accounts claim that in 640 CE, Caliph Omar ordered the destruction of the library's remaining contents. However, this story, written 300 years after the supposed event, is considered less credible by historians. Nalanda, I've never heard of that one.
India. Imperial Library of Constantinople. Map.
Destroyed during the Crusades. It's not mentioning Celsus, but that was one of them as well. Maybe that's one of them that they considered didn't burn down.
Well, yeah, it could get destroyed too. I guess.
Well, it was buried under earthquakes. They're actually still excavating it today.
Hmm.
It's amazing when you go there. You see they're actively excavating. It was a thriving Roman city. That's where John the Apostle took Mary
Yeah.
after Jesus was crucified.
Well, maybe we can find some lost knowledge and
We are.
make life better. All right, yeah, I think that's good for now.
You want to wrap it?
I'm wrapped.
I could keep going.
I'm a wrapped
I could keep going.
cookie right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
All right.
We'll save Gobekli Tepe for another time.
Yeah. Later, guys.
Later.